Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is a 6'8" forward that was making history at Mount St. Mary's, led them to March Madness, got a conference championship, and had a couple ESPN top 10 dunks along the way. I'm talking about Dola Adebayo. What's going on, man?
So what's up? Doing good, man.
Hey, beyond excited to have you on again, especially after this crazy season that you just had this past year. It really blew up to where everyone now knows the name Adebayo, and it isn't because of the guy on the Miami Heat. It's because of you, Dola, absolutely dominant what you did. And I want people to know and understand just how incredible this past season alone was for you. In a quick little segment that I like to call Rewind and Recap. Just going to rewind the clock, talk about some of these accolades. First of which, 2025 second team all conference in that very tough MAAC conference. Obviously, ended up winning the conference championship tournament to punch your ticket to March Madness. You yourself, you were actually the conference tournament MVP, averaged around 14 points, 8 rebounds per game. And when you went to March Madness, you left with a dub under your belt. First four win over American University, 83-72 in that first four matchup. So absolutely incredible what you were able to do. And you entered this past season as one of those key pieces for the Mountaineers, being one of those main returners. I know all preseason all conference came out. You were selected as the third team. Obviously, end of the year, you won up that on the second team. Talk to me real quick about taking on this primary role for Mount St. Mary's, where you were able to be a big time leader on the court for this team with what you were able to do.
I would say experience definitely helped. Having those 3 years on my belt before that, I knew what I had to do coming into the year. Leadership was a big thing that I was working on coming into this past season. Trying to inspire guys to ultimately get the goal and reach what we did reach and what we accomplished. So leadership was a big thing I was working on this summer, leading up to this year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I know the past couple years were very rough for Mount St. Mary's. Obviously, didn't go the way you guys wanted to. There was actually a coaching change. Head coach Donnie Lynn came in, led the program back to March Madness in year one under his leadership. Talk to me real quick about this coaching change, being able to learn from a new perspective, a new system, how that was able to help you individually, and how that was able to help lead the Mountaineers back to March Madness.
Coach Donnie was great. He definitely he definitely changed my life. Like came in, he built confidence in me. Um, like certain things that I would overthink in the past, he allowed me to play through mistakes, so that helped me, especially leading into the playoffs. Like those games that you have that your shot's not falling, he just encourages you to onto the next play, stuff like that. Um, he ultimately changed the whole vibe of the program. Like from day one, he preached that we're gonna have fun. So practice, I immediately felt that change. Everything was more fun. We still got after it, got work done, but I feel like the vibes were just a lot better. And then when you're in that type of environment, it's easy to work hard and play for somebody like that. So that's ultimately what happened.
Yeah, and you guys ended up going, let me see here, 23 and 13 overall record. I believe it was 12 and 8 in conference action. You had some big time wins on the season. I mentioned that American University win in that first four matchup, 83-72. You demolished Iona in that conference championship game, 63-49, and even got a Power Five win under your belt in overtime against Miami, 78-74. And this was a team that was led by four players that were averaging 10 or more points per game, you yourself included. All of those scorers, those leading scorers for the team, came back to Mount St. Mary's from a year ago. So you guys had already gelled a little bit. You knew each other pretty well. Now, under new leadership in this coaching system, how did that camaraderie, that chemistry that you had already developed with your teammates help grow even further to where you were able to get these big time wins?
Yeah, like I said, when there's such a positive environment to grow in, like, and we already had the core pieces, like we already built a brotherhood, so it just makes everything more free and more fun. So when we go out there and play in those tough tough circumstances, like we can always lean on each other for those type of things. So I would say just having the veteran leadership of say X-Man, Xavier Lipscomb, me, JD Rel, like it was just a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys had a great 1-2 punch in the post between yourself and the other big man who's averaging double figures. I mean, absolutely incredible. You actually got to play a little bit of the four this year, quite a bit because you were able to stretch the floor a little bit. And the other guy, I mean, he had some posterizing dunks as well, just like yourself. And I got to talk about some of the ones that you had this past season in a quick little segment that I like to call Make That Play. Some of the best plays that you had this past season. I went through every single made shot you had, so obviously a lot of them. And you had so many dunks, so many big time plays that it was hard to come up with just three for this segment. But before I get into my three, I want to point out obviously, I'm the fan in the stands. You're the guy on the court doing what you do best. What would you say was your top play from this past season?
Between the George Mason dunk and the American dunk.
Okay, you see, you're reading my mind a little bit because both of those are in my top three. I got to be honest. Number one, I do have the March Madness poster just because you're on the biggest stage. You're going against American in that first four game. Your teammate ended up getting doubled. You cut right down open space. You saw that there was a gap. He got it right to you. One hand poster slam, ESPN top 10 caliber dunk right there, and it was absolutely incredible. Number two actually wasn't a dunk. This one was your game winner against Sacred Heart. Uh, Pump fake to get that defender up off the inbound pass, and you stepped past him, got the shot off right in time, and beat the buzzer for a 73-71 win over Sacred Heart. And number three, the alley-oop dunk against George Mason, like you said, I could not believe this when I saw it. I remember watching this game too, and I'm pretty sure it's the reason why they offered you to come be a part of their program. Jumped over the dude. Literally, alley-oop comes. You didn't even realize the guy was there, and the dude, by the way, is 6'5", 6'6", and you hurdled him like he was nothing. So incredible dunk there for sure. And as the season went along, especially going into conference action, it kind of became established that you were that one of the primary options, if not the number one scoring option for this team, to where you could lead them in those big time moments, like the game winner against Sacred Heart. When did you really embrace that role? When did that really become a thing throughout the season to where, okay, if we need a bucket, we're going to Dola?
Um, I say like you coach, like the first day he got there, I told him we were in the weight room. I just told him I just want to be the best. So he just like he has my picture up um in his office. So like he's built that confidence in me. So he left it up to me and made me decide if I actually wanted to be the best. So I just put the work in every day and God's helped me. Like I give all glory to God. He's just given me the strength, kept me healthy all year. So I think that just helped me um, get to where I am. And I still got a lot of things I got to do and a lot of confidence to build. So it's just getting started. So that's it.
Oh yeah, the journey's just getting started. You this past season alone, 13 points per game, 7 rebounds, shot over 50%, averaged 1.1 blocks per game. And I mean, you had some big time performances for sure. 22 points in that first four game of March Madness. That big Power Five win over Miami, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Ended up having 22 points and 13 rebounds versus Siena. And then obviously with you transferring to George Mason, I got to point out your stats in that game, 13 points and 7 rebounds going against what is now going to be the team that you're playing for next season. So it was absolutely incredible what you were able to do for a team that, like we mentioned before, a whole new ball game with new leadership. Obviously, you had a lot of newcomers coming in, but had those key core players that were the top four scorers, including yourself, coming back where you guys ended up kind of going back and forth through a tough conference schedule in regular season action, but managed to stay strong in that conference tournament to win three straight very close games and claim the championship to punch your ticket to March Madness. So, what really went into that postseason run in the conference tournament to where you guys were able to claim that championship trophy?
Just making sure everybody believed that we were capable of doing that. Like we ended the season. senior night, played Marist. They were number 2 seed, and we was down at half, so we had to come in, get everybody on the same page, and make sure we still believed in it. So that game, after we won that game, it was on to the playoffs. Came in 6th seed, and we played Marist again. So we knew it was possible at that point. And then as the games kept going, we just kept like picking each other up, like making sure we know we can get this done. So, because if you go into something you don't even believe it, then it's most likely not going to happen. So that was the first part of it.
Yeah, there you go, man. And obviously led you to March Madness where you got that big time win against American, ended up playing Duke in the round of 64. Talk to me real quick about the experience of being a part of March Madness. I know that's the dream goal for every single team in the entire NCAA. They want to make it to the national scale, be seen by millions of people worldwide that are going to be watching these games. What was that game plan going in to, going against American and then obviously against Duke? And how much fun was it to be on that national scale?
It was fun. In the moment, you try not to think about it because you still got a game to play. You don't want to, can't get too high, can't get too low. But after those games, you just look back and you just reflect, and it's just crazy. Like life can change in a matter of months. So I'm so proud of my team, and I'm proud of just everybody, and I'm thankful for everybody who helped us along the way.
Absolutely, man. Talk me real quick about the game plan going in, though. How did you guys really prepare for those big time wins? Because, being in the first four, a lot of teams, that's a chip on their shoulder right there, where they're like, okay, you don't want to put us into the main bracket right away. Let's show you what we can do. So, what was the mentality and the game plan going in?
Same game plan as always. Just rely on our coaches. They find the scout, and they give us what to execute, and it's our job to just go out there and execute it.
Okay. Simple enough right there. Obviously, you guys did what you were supposed to do. And then at the end of the season, you're getting ready. I believe you're getting ready to graduate with your degree from Mount St. Mary's. And you entered the portal, now going to be a graduate transfer. And heard from a lot of teams. You and I messaged back and forth. You told me some of the teams that had reached out to you, and I'm pretty sure it was the next day after you had told me those teams where you committed and signed with George Mason. Very talented program. My buddy Zach Anderson actually played for them this past season, and they were very close to making it to March Madness as well. Ended up making the NIT. What did George Mason really do to appeal to you, where it kind of caught your eye and was like, okay, this is a program where they're going to help get me to be a better version of myself and hopefully get me into the pro ranks following my collegiate career?
Yeah. Took my visit. It was a great visit. It's not too far. It's like an hour away from where I'm at right now. So I drove my car up here from Florida, so I'm not trying to drive 24 hours back down. So that also helped. I just love the coaching staff too, and I seen what they did last year, being like the number one defense in like field goal, and defense is a big part of my game and what I'm trying to build and get better at. And I seen how close they were to March Madness, so that's my goal to get back there. And I'm trying to back to March Madness and stay there as long as possible and potentially win. So
Hey,
that very appealing to me. In the 8-10 conference it's a big step up, and I think I can make an immediate impact in that. So
hey,
that's
there's no doubt in my mind you will be making an impact. You're going to be having some more ESPN top 10 dunks, and I'm going to be excited for you every single win that you get. And it's awesome because you're one of these players where you've had a chip on your shoulder basically your whole career. Coming out of high school, I believe Mount St. Mary's was the only team that offered you going into your senior year of high school. And a lot of people counted you out, and you were one of these underrated guys who have now made a name for themselves in the collegiate ranks. And I know there's a lot more guys like yourself that maybe people should take notice of, that I should take notice of, and have on this podcast to promote their name as well, just like I do for yourself and some of the other local talents from around here that you know of. Uh, so that's why I have this segment that I like to call Who's Up Next. In this segment, you just rattle off some names, give me some numbers and names that I should reach out to have on this podcast. Two rules though. First of which, whoever I reach out to, whoever you recommend, you gotta have me. You gotta help me get them on. Help me get them on the podcast. And number two, you gotta give me at least one name where they were not a teammate of yours this past season.
Mm, dang. Well, let me start with my two young moves that go here. I got Elijah Espinoza, number 7, and AK Kebe. He's number 9. So they're pretty exciting players to watch. Very athletic, and they're going to be following in my footsteps, kind of, as you could say, and getting those ESPN top 10 dunks very soon. Um, Players to watch that are not in the conference or not on my team. Have to think about that.
Hey, you can always get back to me on that one. I know, trust me, that one's a little head scratcher for a lot of people. You got to think about it a little bit, but obviously, you and I both know a lot of great high caliber players like yourself who have been on this podcast, and I'm always excited to have you on because I get to show off your highlights doing what you do best, and you're looking to do a whole lot more for George Mason, like we talked about going into next season. So, how are you really attacking this offseason? What are some of the skills that you're really targeting in your game to improve on so you can go into George Mason, lead them to March Madness, and eventually be another Adebayo in the NBA?
This off season, I just left the weight room before I got here, like I texted you earlier. So definitely getting stronger. Always can get stronger because new conference, more physical league. So I'm gonna be ready for that. Um, Definitely working on my handles a lot more because I think that was kind of exposed in the last game, like trying to get to my spot, losing the ball a little bit. So gonna clean that one up. And definitely 3 pointers. Become more of a consistent shooter, knock down, and space the floor for my team, and just continue to work on my strengths, but definitely attack the weaknesses this offseason.
There you go, man. Definitely can't wait to see what you do going into this next year. And the moment they get a Dola Adebayo jersey available on any NIL website, you need to send me the link because I need to add some more jerseys to my collection, get a nice little autograph right there. So, beyond excited to have you on as always, man. Keep doing your thing, keep dunking on people, blocking shots, and making your name known in these college ranks. Thank you so much again for being on this interview with me.
Sir, no problem. Thank you.